What portion of Koala Capital's business would you say focuses on NEMT financing?
60% of my business is specifically for non-emergency transportation.
Wow.
I love the industry.
Welcome back to NEMT Experts. I've got Kristan Parker here. She is the National Sales Director for Koala Capital, which provides working capital financing for all sorts of businesses, and in large part, NEMT businesses. Kristan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Nirav. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Kristan, can you give a bit of background about yourself and Koala Capital?
Sure. I have been in the industry for, it's going on 15 years now. I started in 2010 when lending and the economy was really tough. We had very few lending options at that time because people were really assessing their portfolio and trying to eliminate risk. So I feel like I started at the right time because I really got to see a lot of my customers, specifically in the NEMT industry, start from the ground up or restart from the ground up.
Yeah, interesting times for all businesses. NEMT is no exception. So Kristan, you provide financing for tons of NEMT businesses all over the country. In what situation does it make sense for NEMT businesses to get financing for vehicles and whatever other assets they may need to run their business?
Well, I believe that financing equipment and vehicles is a smart move in any situation for small businesses looking to expand or grow. I always encourage my customers to use other people's money so that they can keep their cash flow reserves for hiring staff or marketing or advertising or general unforeseen expenses or circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, what would you say to NEMT business owners who think like, hey, other people's money is nice, but I think it makes sense to grow my business more organically, right? Like I'll grow my business once I have enough revenue to be able to buy another vehicle with my own money, then I'll do that and grow that way.
Certainly, you certainly could, but I guess in this industry, you really have to have credit to get credit, and in order to build your business credit, you should do some financing, some type of financing, and once again, you want to keep your cash reserves where they are. Many of my NEMT clients are bringing on additional business all the time, and they're in need of additional equipment or vehicles in order to satisfy some contracts. Well, it would probably make sense to do financing in that situation if you don't have an extra $50,000 laying around for a vehicle. And again, it will help build their business credit and not impact their personal credit.
How does an NEMT business actually go about assessing what their financing needs are?
So I talk a lot in the beginning about projections. What are you projecting you're going to make with this either new business or existing business by bringing on an additional vehicle or two or three to your fleet? And by that way, you can definitely assess if you need financing, if you need additional vehicles or equipment. So projections, revenue projections are crucial in that decision-making process.
Okay, so you have your revenue projections. And basically on the cost side, you see, hey, look, here's how much I need to spend in order to make this much. If I don't have that cash on hand, that's the amount that I want to get financed, basically.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Simple enough. Let's say I'm an NEMT business owner, right? I may just be starting out. I win these contracts and I say, hey, I need to get these vehicles and equipment in order to be able to fulfill those contracts. Here are my financing needs. How do I actually go about getting financing, right? Like the world of people who can finance me is large and varied, maybe. What doors do I knock on? How do I even go about getting financing?
Those are all very good questions. Well, our process is very easy. An e-application and maybe not even bank statements are needed just to get started. So an e-application can typically be filled out on their phone, and then I can process the application with a soft inquiry on the personal credit, Experian and Equifax. It will not ding the credit. And then I'll get some term options over to the customer. Our funding process, as opposed to many of our competitors and certainly the banks, is much faster. It is cheaper in many ways, and we require a whole lot less financial information.
Gotcha. So this sort of plays into my next question, which is, if I'm an NEMT business owner, just walk me through step by step. Like, what are the steps of getting financing with Koala Capital?
Yeah, sure. Many of our programs are considered application only and may not require business or personal bank statements. Once the e-application is processed, I will email term options to the customer for their review. And then once they decide on a term and a monthly payment, I can put their file together with a strong write-up featuring how this asset will increase their business and revenues, and then I'll submit the file to underwriting. And we typically have an answer on an approval either same day or within 24 hours for what we call application only.
Okay, timeliness. I like it.
Time is money.
Wise words. Kristan, tell me this, like Koala Capital, you guys sort of uniquely have a focus on the NEMT industry. Why is that? How did that come about for Koala Capital? How much of your business is NEMT? Why do you focus so much on this industry?
So personally, this industry, the NEMT industry, is near and dear to my heart. My parents and loved ones are aging. Non-emergency transportation is crucial to those who are unable to drive themselves, either due to mobility issues or health restrictions. And the need for NEMT transportation is only increasing. However, it's not just non-emergency. It's not just non-emergency transportation. I have a lot of clients who are in the assisted living realm, and they want to transport their clients and guests to the local casino, or they want to take them to get their hair done. And then certainly, of course, the dialysis patients and to and from doctor's appointments. But as we are all aging, this particular industry is going nowhere but up. It is absolutely crucially necessary now, and it's only going to get more and more needed.
Yeah. What portion of Koala Capital's business would you say focuses on NEMT financing?
Probably on my desk, I probably focus a good 60% of my business is specifically for non-emergency transportation.
Wow.
I love the industry. Yes.
Awesomeness. Well, so with such a big focus, I mean, you've probably seen all sorts of interesting stories with NEMT businesses throughout the years. I'd love for you to just share some fun stories of your dealings with NEMT businesses.
Sure.
Maybe success stories or just interesting stories.
Yeah, I would say success story. One comes to mind. When I started in this industry, there was a customer who, their sister was sick, and they saw the need firsthand for non-emergency transportation, and it just wasn't available in their area. So they looked into starting a business in the industry. They were a startup, and as I mentioned back then, there were very few financing options for startups. You typically had to have excellent credit. You had to have good reserves in the bank. Personally, it was tough to get financed when you were a startup back in 2010. One that comes to mind, as I said, his sister needed dialysis, and he decided to start his own business. And we were able to get him approved and financed for 2 vehicles, 2 non-emergency transport vans. And they were able to help him start building his business and build revenues. And I still work with him today.
That's a sweet story. I love it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
What kinds, let me ask you this, what kinds of equipment have you seen your customers typically get financing for in the NEMT industry? Like, obviously vehicles is the big one, but you have other equipment that goes inside the vehicle,
Sure.
ramps, procurement systems, whatnot. I mean, what are you sort of seeing? Any trends that you can share?
Yeah, definitely, as you mentioned, ramps, wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs. We can do stretchers. We can do automatic stretchers. We can do stretcher tie downs. All of that stuff, including the vehicle itself. A lot of the vehicles I finance are already what they call built out. So they've already got the build out completed to be able to transport the non-mobile people or the wheelchair bound or stretcher bound people. However, we do have options as well to convert vans and finance that also. So I think what definitely sets us apart is our knowledge of the industry, our customer service levels, transparency, and absolutely access to funds. We work with dozens of lending institutions and investors. And so we find that we have almost an option for just about anybody, whether they're a startup or whether they've been in business for quite some time and have excellent business credit, personal credit, excellent reserves, or if one of those, has faltered over the years. We can still, with the right blend of cash, collateral, and credit, help just about everybody.
Awesome. And you know what? I want to just briefly share your website here, or one of Koala Capital's websites, which is nemtfunding.com.
Yes.
A lot of good info about the kinds of financing that your company does and a way to reach out to you to get financing. I'm going to be putting the link for this in the description of the video, along with Kristan's contact information. Kristan, thank you so much.
Run, Bambi, run!
Awesome. Thanks, Kristan.